Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. I'm going to talk about what I think is a little bit of magic. It's so obvious, but it's magic. And that is something that, so he's a guy I've followed for some time now, a guy called Chase Hughes. I first encountered him on, I think it was the Body Language panel, I think that's what they're called. And there was him, two other American guys and a British guy whose book I have actually read. Can't remember his name, but they're very funny. They're quite long, their YouTubes, so I don't tend to watch them all through, but I do enjoy watching them. And I don't know why, but Chase Hughes sort of appeals to me more just because he's had they've all had interesting backgrounds, but he's had a particularly interesting background in the military, and you can go and look him up and work that out for yourself. But this little bit of magic. So he was interviewed by Diary of a CEO, not to be confused with Diary of a Wannabe Comedian, although I wish it was, because I think he's got 1 million subscribers. I'm a little way off 1 million subscribers, I'll be completely honest with you there. A little way off, but, we're working towards that number. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so he was interviewed on there. And he talked about successful people, discipline, I think it was. Discipline simply means prioritising your future self and looking backwards at your past self with gratitude. And I just thought, this is so simple, it's amazing. I gave up drinking a few years back. I do, as you know, I do Shitface December, and even that I'm not a fan of now. The reason being I feel so horrible the next day after drinking. And I do not thank my past self for consuming that alcohol when I feel like that the next day. So there's no gratitude for my past self in those scenarios. But if you prioritise your future self, so you've got an early start in the morning, make sure that you've got all your clothes lined up, they're ironed, you've got everything out for breakfast, whatever, the tea in the teapot, all things ready, you're extremely grateful for your past self in the morning. And I just found this fascinating. I thought it's so simple. And that goes with everything. That's obviously being disciplined in terms of material matters, like I say, putting out clothes for the next day or making your bed so that you've got a nice bed to get into in the evening. You're always grateful to yourself in the morning for making the bed. But it also goes for things like food. So prioritising your future self by not eating those sweets. And again, I can only refer to a recent example of going to the cinema, eating a load of sweets and feeling absolutely diabolical. So yeah, if I'd have prioritised my future self, I wouldn't have had those sweets. Isn't that simple? It seems so obvious and so simple, but here endeth the lesson, so to speak. Much love and gratitude.